ladies. So there are 8 things that every woman needs to know to successfully navigate life. So let's get into it. So number 1 is what language to use. And I'm talking about whether you need to speak more formally or you can speak more casually. And that's going to depend on the purpose of the room and also the group and the people in the room and what like the purpose of the event is. So you need to be able to read verbal cues and to behave in a way that's adapting to appropriately to the group that's in the room and the purpose of the event. So that's number 1. Number 2 is to be able to accept and give compliments. I've seen so many women, you can't compliment them. They're just like, oh, that's not true. Oh, your hair's beautiful. Oh, this was an accident. Like, just say thank you. It shows grace and it shows self-esteem. Say thank you so much. I appreciate. That's a really sweet compliment. Or that's really nice to say. And you know what? It shows that you have good, strong self-esteem, and it shows grace and appreciation, and it's appreciating somebody else's effort to go out of their way to make you feel good, which is a nice thing to do instead of denying it. So the third thing is to pick your battles. Some battles will have no positive outcome. They're just a waste of energy and a time sucker, and that's all it is. There's an old phrase, and I don't know who wrote it, but it's be right or be happy, and that's very true. That's a good one to know. So number 4 is to be able to advocate for yourself. This one's super duper important, not just for yourself, for your kids, for your family, for anyone you know. Oh, there's the chicken. Hi, chicken. So anyways, be able to advocate for yourself and to be able to do it in a professional manner, in a knowledgeable manner. It's always best if you are evidence-based. So when you're going into meetings, going into doctor's appointments, if you're going into meetings at the school, go in, look up some information first, look up legislation, look up documentation, make sure you're going in with some tools, with some evidence, and it'll make people take what you're saying a little bit more seriously. And it's not hard to find these resources. You can go on like the Government of Canada, for instance, if you're looking for legislation. You can look up different acts. You can do anything. You can look up anything you need to. Just go on the appropriate websites. Don't just Google search because you'll get everything wrong. Look up the appropriate websites and arm yourself with evidence whenever you need to advocate for yourself, so you know what questions to ask, you know what comments to make, and nobody can prove you wrong. Because as soon as you can get proven wrong in one area, then your level of accountability goes like from here like down to here. So don't be wrong. Arm yourself. Anyways, that's my take on it. Number 5 is think long term. Everything on the internet right now is freaking killing me, because everything that's geared towards women is about make yourself feel good in the now, in the present. Make yourself feel good presently and not think about the long term. And it's so unfortunate. The presentation that is being given to women now is that if you manifest it, eventually just have blind faith that the universe will provide for you. The universe will provide, it'll provide. And there's no talk about like thinking long term and planning long term. And we have to do that, ladies. We have to do it because the universe may provide, but it may provide if you work hard for it to provide. Or it may just provide for you because if you manifested it. But you know what? Be sure and think long term. And number 6 is how to vet people. This one's super important. Before oversharing or relying on anybody for anything important, get to know them before you take actions that lead to attachment. We all know what I'm talking about here. Make sure you know someone before you take actions that lead to attachment. Somewhat, I talked about this in my video this morning. Women get attached very quickly. So make sure you know people. And definitely before oversharing, particularly in work environments or with new friends or circles of friends that live in your community, circles of friends whose kids go to your kids' school, circles of friends where you're going to run into them again. It's not the situation where you're never going to see them again, where someone you might run into. Be careful who you overshare with. And 7 is how to say no, and the appropriate way to say no. So everyone says no is a complete sentence, and it is, but it's not just a complete sentence depending on who you're talking to. For instance, the way you say no to your boss is going to be very different to the way you say no to a guy on a date. So you need to be able to, again, read the room and be appropriate and present yourself and set your boundaries in an appropriate manner and say no in the appropriate tone, in the right way, in the right time, at the right place. That's the point. And number 8 is maybe the most important, and it's how to apologize and be accountable for a mistake, or if you've been wrong, or if you've hurt someone or done anything. Women, I find, are very hesitant to apologize for things, and other than like we'll apologize a million times, like bumping into people in the grocery store, but when we've actually done something wrong, we really need to be able to just simply say, you know what, I'm really sorry, that's on me, like I totally misread that, or I misunderstood and that's my mistake, or I really was misinformed and that's my mistake, and this is what I'm going to do to make sure it never happens again. That shows more accountability, it shows more responsibility, and that you're someone, and reliability, than had you not made the mistake in the first place. So you can bring yourself from here up to here in someone's opinion and views, whether it be at work or in a personal relationship, by admitting when you've been wrong, apologizing, taking accountability for it, and showing a plan on what you're going to do to make sure it doesn't happen again. So those are my 8 things, ladies. Those are my very most important 8 tips on things every woman needs to know in order to navigate life and to be able to do so in a classy and educated and professional and friendly, kind, reliable, respectable manner. So that's that. Happy Sunday, everybody.